We're here to talk about all things electrical and how can you improve, fix, renovate your home to live better, to make it look better.
Turn your house into a home and join us on the Home Enthusiast podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome to another podcast, The Home Enthusiast with Remy. And today we've got a special guest with us, Jason Mayo from Mayo Solution. Jason, welcome.
Hey.
Electrical is such a big part of the home. One of the biggest things that I've noticed is a lot of property are going from these terrible oyster lights and they're so ugly, to be honest with you. They don't even give a bright space and everyone is switching to LEDs. Why do you think they're switching to LEDs?
It's energy efficient, better lighting distribution. And the average sort of 90mm downlight, it only costs sort of like $10 to $25 depending on what style you get, right?
Yeah.
And they're flush. A lot of the older lights, they're not necessarily sealing the ceiling. So for instance, like if you have your air conditioning on, you've got all these holes in your ceiling with the light that's able to move and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The downlights, they're flush, they seal the ceiling, and it's almost like they're not there sometimes, you know what I mean?
Seamless.
Yeah, so you want to come in, you want to have your feature lighting, but you also want to have your LED downlights, which are flush. They're white, they match your ceiling color.
Yeah.
And it's like they're not there until you turn them on.
How many hours do you get out of an LED light?
A lot of them, I say, about 10,000 plus hours.
For a normal average, 3-4 bedroom house in Brisbane, how many years is that?
When they originally were plugging LED lights, I was saying, you never have to replace the lamps, but
Wow.
you are always going to get one that fails eventually, I would say.
Yep.
But I would expect a minimum of probably 10 years out of it.
Yeah,
but
right.
I'm not a lighting manufacturer, but
Yep.
we don't get many replacement callbacks. Normally it is a faulty light, and if it's going to go, it'll go within the first 12 months.
Very quickly you see if they work or not. So they make more sense, they're more aesthetic, they're seamless, and also they're more efficient. That's basically it. In the kitchen, electric cooktop versus induction cooktop, is it a preference? Or again, is it energy efficiency? What is it?
The good thing about induction cooktops, if you've got young kids, is they can't burn their hands on
Yep.
the cooktop.
Oh, not just children, the ones that can't cook. Same thing.
Amateur cooks. I definitely think they're a plus. They chew quite a lot of power.
Okay, more power than the normal cooktop?
I would say,
Yeah.
General Electric cooktop, they would chew more power. Quite often when we're being asked to install an induction cooktop, we'll be actually doing a switchboard upgrade at the same time. The average induction cooktop will pull between 30 to 40 something amps, right? And most places, Energex only allows a maximum of 80 amp supply per phase.
Right, okay.
So if you've got a ducted aircon, you've got your hot water service, your general power, computers or stuff like that, you're going to run out of capacity pretty quick. But if you're running on your original switchboard, you might have 6mm mains, which can only carry a maximum of 50 amps in the right running conditions.
So you think you're only changing the cooktop, but really there could be a lot more that you need to change.
Exactly.
Is that more for modern homes, or are we talking character homes, homes built in the 70s and the 80s, or old Queenslanders that need this kind of upgrade? Because I'm guessing maybe more modern homes, maybe they don't need that.
No.
Okay, so it's mostly older work.
Anything prior to post-war that hasn't been upgraded will definitely need an upgrade. And one thing to note with electric cooktops, if you're moving from gas to electric, they need to have an isolation switch.
Is that the thing on the wall? The switch on the wall? Okay, yeah.
The way the rules state is you shouldn't have to reach over a burning cooktop to switch it off. So it needs to be off to the side.
Yeah, okay. Often it's on a splashback, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And sometimes you can get a socket outlet with an extra switch in the middle, which is for the cooktop to isolate it, or you can have a switch by itself.
Yeah, okay. So there's a lot more to that. See, I absolutely did not know that, which is pretty cool. Are you seeing more people moving from electric cooktop and electric oven to gas, or the opposite?
Other way around now. I used to see some people would move to gas, but now it's completely opposite.
Really?
The majority is everyone is removing the gas to put in the electric, and quite often we'll engage our plumbers to do a cap off, right, and make safe.
Of course. Yep.
And then we'll run a new circuit in for the oven or the cooktop or whatever it is that was previously serviced by the gas.
Do you think they're worried about the consumption, or do you think that's safety or health? What do you think most people are switching to electric?
I think gas prices have gone up quite a lot. I know electricity is now really going up, but I think gas has been a sore point for a little while as well. And I think that's driven it. And a lot of people, I think they are finding the electric cooktops to be better than what they were now. And especially the induction cooktops, a lot of people are moving that way now, and they're getting rid of the gas.
Love it. Talking about energy efficiency, big thing, we're in Queensland, lots of sun. What I'm going to say next, solar panels. Over the last 5 years, everyone is on social media and like you switch and you get an ad for solar panels. How big of a difference can they make into a home's efficiency when you run everything electric? Hot water, cooktops, aircon, lighting. You know, how many panels do you need for, let's say, an average 4-bedroom house where you got 2 adults, 3 children, all electric? How many panels do you need? How much power do you need? How much difference does that make in your bill?
The issue with solar at the moment is it works best during the day when the sun's out, right? And we consume most of our electricity at night when we're running the aircon, the cooktop, the TV, the hot water services running for showers and stuff like that.
Yep.
So what we're sort of really aiming to now is to obviously get batteries working well and be more cost effective, right? So everyone that's converted to solar is sort of looking at batteries and how we can make it work, because we're not getting the feed-in tariffs we used to. Right. When the solar schemes were first rolled out, I think we're getting up to 44, 45 cents. Now they're paying as low as 8 cents for a feed-in. So
Yeah, right.
and you have to really shop around to try and get a good feed-in rate. But if you're not home during the day, that's when your solar is generating all its power, right? And if you're not using it, if you don't have a battery, it's going to be going back into the grid at that really low rate, right? So unless you've got a decent battery setup, which are currently still quite expensive, then yeah, it's still working and it's still effective and it's still reducing people's power bills.
But maybe not as much.
Yeah. We could make it work better if we were able to get batteries at a cost-effective way or a cost-effective manner.
So not every solar installation comes with batteries?
No,
Really?
they never used to.
So just the inverter, and then you can add the batteries on top of that.
Yeah.
So are you saying that, have you got solar panels on your home?
I do.
Do they have batteries?
No, they don't.
Unbelievable, Jason.
So there's a couple of different reasons behind this. My roof, I've got multiple gables on my roof and none of them are north facing. So what that means is that if I want to set all the panels up on my roof, I have to have them all on custom brackets to get the best tracking of the sun during the day.
Oh, right, okay.
So
So yeah, orientation of the roof is a massive thing. So if you've got a north-facing roof, it's going to be a lot more efficient than if you've got a south-facing one.
But one thing I do have is a solar hot water service, and it gets the afternoon sun, and I never have a cold shower. It's
amazing.
So it works really well.
Jason.
So
It's important. Talking about, again, energy efficiency and aesthetic. One of the big ones at the moment is split system versus ducted air conditioning system. Yep. So I have my preference, and you know, I would say that most people have a big opinion on that. What I've heard, and I need you to tell me if I'm wrong, is that split system are actually probably easier to maintain. Is that true?
I would say so. You run a less risk, like you don't have drainage and pipe work running through your roof and all that sort of stuff. Split systems are great on the smaller quantities. Like say you've got a house, like a single story house, and you might only want aircon in 2 rooms. So you might go a 2.5 kilowatt in 1 bedroom and then maybe a 7 kilowatt in the lounge room, right? But say you wanted air conditioning in every room, then I would go a ducted, right? Because
Interesting.
Basically the good thing about today's aircons is they're inverters, so say a 12 kilowatt aircon might work from 4 kilowatts up to 12.5 kilowatts or something like that. Right? With the inverter technology, they can ramp up depending on their workload. It's not like the old 3-phase aircons back in the day where you'd get these $2,000 a quarter electricity bills because this thing was humming along and it was cooling a 2-story house. So first of all, my basics are, if you only need 2 rooms cooled, I'd probably look at a split system. But if you're looking at multiple rooms, then definitely go ducted.
Aesthetically, obviously, just like the LED versus Oyster, ducted is amazing.
And there's myself personally, I use a product called AirTouch 4. Right? I don't want to plug too many people, but I can switch my aircon on from my phone right now. I can turn it on in my daughter's room, my son's room, in our room. I can adjust the temperature and I can see if we've left it on. Right? Anywhere I've got data, I can check on my aircon.
So if your son was a pain in the ass yesterday, you can make sure his bedroom is really hot when he gets home. That's amazing. That's really cool. You can control everything from your phone. Electricity, what can you control? Can you turn on the cooktop from your phone?
In theory, the setup I'm building in my own house at the moment, I can turn on everything. But one thing, I don't like to switch cooktop loads. Lighting, right, around your home, right, We can set up scenes. So basically, if you come home at 6 o'clock every night, we can basically program scenes using different products. And we put these little pucks in. So you roll through the door, your lights come on, all at 6 o'clock, or we can put sensor lights in there, all that sort of stuff. But you can control pretty much anything in your house. The only thing I say is I don't like to switch high current loads, such as a cooktop or an oven or something like that.
So all the things that you see in a movie where, you know, you have a nice dinner with a lady and you've got your phone and you get into the bedroom and you can put a romantic music.
Yeah.
The curtains close and the lighting is, well, you can do all that.
I can. I'm not on the music side. I'm not real switched onto that side of things. But yeah, there's a lot of products at the moment. Clipsal, Legrand, they've all got automation products, and a lot of it now is built into the switches you can put on the wall. Keep in mind, some of them do need a neutral, and that's basically you've got an active, neutral, and earth. But our houses, the way we used to originally wire them, you would only drop a constant active and then the switched active down to the switch, but we now wire them for active, neutral, earth at the switch. So older houses might need additional cabling, but most homes within the last 20 or so years, they should already have the correct cabling there, and you can upgrade to smart switches, control everything from your phone. So you can switch your lights, your power.
How much does that cost?
It's a magic number. In terms of materials, I'd probably allow for about $50 a point. In terms of labour, there's swapping over is quite quick. It's just the programming, and then it's the allowance for teething issues and stuff like that, because they don't always go 100% smoothly. There's usually a few bugs here and there that you've got to work out. And I know some of the earlier systems we put in, the range wasn't real good, so you'd have to set up them in a cluster in the same area, and then the signal will get better and better. So there can be a few teething issues. So yeah, there is a bit of labour in that.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, so more labour than parts almost.
Definitely.
I understand. Obviously, we're in Queensland, so we don't have many fireplaces. But do you see a lot of people going from, you know, the old-fashioned fireplace to electric fireplaces? Are they efficient? Are they more healthy in terms of what you're breathing? And do they give out as much heat?
They are definitely much healthier because there is no
gas,
no smoke or anything like that. And I don't think they give out quite as much heat, but they look pretty good.
They look insane, yeah.
If you've seen
I've seen many.
Our Instagram lately, but we did one in Bulimba recently, right? We basically recessed the TV in the wall, and then below that we recessed the fireplace, the electric fireplace.
Is that a problem, having an electric fireplace and a TV right above?
So there is about 400 mil separation, so probably about that much.
That's enough.
But the unit is designed to be able to, so we put fibre cement cladding around it inside, which is like, but it doesn't actually specify that you need a segregation. There's only one small section that needs to be segregated.
So more of a precaution to do that.
Yeah, it's just a bit of extra
precaution. But they do look amazing. Are they expensive?
I think you're looking at about 2 to 2.5 for a decent one. For an electric fireplace, depending on what you need, whether you need a new circuit, that could be anywhere from $300 to $500, right? And then to build the enclosure, well, that's a sort of depends what you want to do, really. So if you wanted one that was not rebated, obviously that'd be a lot cheaper. But if you want to rebate one in the wall where we have to cut the wall out, we might have to put it.
There's more than just electrical work, it's carpentry and stuff. Are they dangerous?
Look, I think there's probably just a bit of a touch hazard there where you basically, it's a warm thing, obviously. So that just with young kids and that, I think there's a bit of precaution. In terms of electrical hazard, they're just like every other appliance, right? They're protected by a circuit breaker. So if the current starts to get up above what the cable's rated for, the circuit breaker will trip before anything melts.
One thing that we see more and more in houses now, dimmer's light, a dimmer light. Like, you know, you turn it on, you turn it out, depending on maybe the mood. Does that impact the life of the LED?
I have not seen it, right? And obviously I'm not a lighting manufacturer, but I don't see, or I haven't been able to correlate more call-outs for dimmer lights versus non-dimming lights. Better quality downlight. A lot of people are really focused on the price of a downlight, right? And that'll be, the cheaper ones are obviously cheaper to make for a reason, right? So that's more inclined to be the reason why the call-out's there. But yeah, I wouldn't say that dimmers highlight as that being the issue.
Yeah, okay, that's good because they're really cool to have. We were talking about all the houses before from the 70s, 80s, or, you know, earlier than that. You've done quite a lot of them where you upgraded the system to the new legislation. How much does it cost to get your home up to standards? And I know it depends on the home, but you got to change the switchboard. You probably got to change a lot more than that. On average, what does it cost?
With the older homes with the VJs, like the single skin walls, it can really get quite significant in costs, right? Because nowadays we need to provide mechanical protection for all cabling. Having to make all that work, it's not cheap, and especially if someone wants to maintain that classic look, it can get up there.
Are we talking tens of thousands in some cases?
Definitely.
Yeah, right. So significant works.
Yeah, we did a big reno in Shorncliffe a couple of years ago, and I would say that would be around the sort of 60 mark, that required new switchboard, all new circuit protection. Everything was new in it, essentially. All new timber mounting blocks, all the custom timber trims to go over the cable. Came up looking mint, but yeah, it took a lot of time to get it done right. But yeah, it does look really good when done.
Brands, what will be your maybe one or two favorite brands when it comes to air conditioning?
I prefer to stick to 3 brands due to brand familiarity, and they fit all different cases, all 3 different brands. So the Hayes would fit like a rental property, right? The Mitsubishi Heavy Industries would fit like a guaranteed product that's going to work, that's easy to install, hassle-free, and that we know back to front. And then a Dakin, I guess, would be more sort of high-end or a tricky installation.
Talking about brands, I want to talk about cooktop now. Is there 1 or 2 brands that you'll recommend over others?
Probably for cooktops, I'd say Bosch or AEG or something like that. I've got AEG in my own house and it's been quite good. A lot of those products are good for the high-end side of things, not so much for the rental properties where they don't want to spend as much money. Some of the products we've been using at the moment are Amiga, Norge, Salt. They're on the
Lower scale brands, mostly from China?
Yeah, they're still providing similar sort of warranty. But yeah, you have to still be quite picky there because you don't want to end up with a dud kind of thing. And you've got to warrant that product as well.
Jason, thank you so much. Once again, guys, this is Jason from Maya Solutions. We've done a fair few jobs together, and I do know he's extremely knowledgeable and very good at his job, and all the clients that have used you to improve their property have been very, very happy. If you like this kind of content, you can follow Jason at Maya Solutions on Instagram and Facebook. If you want to hear more of these podcasts and interviews, you can follow us on YouTube at The Home Enthusiast, or Remy Durio on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, everywhere. Thank you very much.